one thing and you mix it with another thing, then it hardens. But if you add some in that's not supposed to be there and it's fully developed,
right,
you're not going to take that out. Like if you added oil, you threw some oil in the epoxy, like, now you f***ed that whole thing up.
That's exactly what happens to a human being when fame touches them before they've even had a chance to form their own skin. Now, for years, we've watched certain child stars break down, and we were told it was just the pressure of the spotlight. But Joe Rogan just lit a match to a conversation Hollywood has been burying for decades, and he's pointing directly at Ellen DeGeneres, Sean Diddy Combs, and the shocking foundation of Justin Bieber's rise. Word on the street is that Rogan isn't just talking about industry gatekeeping. He's hinting at what really happened behind the soundproof doors that a 13-year-old Bieber walked through, things so heavy his adult self still can't talk about them straight. And if Rogan is right, the fairy tale we all bought about the kid from Canada might be the darkest story never told. If you've been watching how the culture has shifted lately, you know certain names are surfacing in ways no one predicted. It's no longer just about Diddy's legal problems. The net is widening, and when Rogan stepped into this void, people started listening differently, because Rogan didn't lead with court documents or tabloid headlines. He led with behavioral patterns, clips that have been on YouTube for a decade but never got a second look. And once he started drawing the lines, one name kept appearing in the margins: Ellen. Pause right there. For 20 years, Ellen was the queen of daytime, dancing, giving away cars, pure positivity. But Rogan flipped that image on its head by pointing out how cozy she was with Diddy. Not just a guest spot, repeated private access, the kind that suggests they were closer than business partners. When you lay that next to the rumors about Diddy's infamous parties, controlled entry, rooms where nothing leaves, the question changes. It's not who was Diddy with, it's who else controlled access to those same rooms. The party doesn't start until the right people walk in. So tell me about this birthday situation. Am I on the list? You're always on the list. You just never show up. That's because you throw them on the East Coast. Throw one here. Maybe I'll just have it at your mansion. What time should we start? 9:30. 9:30? That's early for me. I start parties at midnight. That's a whole different vibe. Exactly. So we'll do 9:30 to 3. I've got the top 2 floors. Now you're talking. I'll be there, but I'm walking in late. Don't be too late, because once your shoes hit the floor, the real energy shows up. I promise you, I won't let you down. Good, because your feet are gonna have blisters from dancing. Rogan didn't stop there. Once Ellen was in the frame, he started talking about roles, enablers, connectors, the people who aren't the main abuser but make the abuse possible. This is where the name Ghislaine Maxwell started floating around online forums in tandem with this conversation, not as a direct link to Bieber, but as a blueprint for how these systems protect themselves. Think about that. Powerful environments don't run on chaos, they run on logistics. So the real question is, who was making the introductions? Who was keeping the vibe light while the cameras were rolling? And according to Rogan's framing, Ellen's position gave her the perfect cover. Now zoom back to Justin Bieber. This whole thing orbits around him. A 13-year-old kid from Stratford, Ontario, tossed into a hurricane of money, power, and men old enough to be his grandfather. At first, the story was clean. Usher finds him on YouTube. Usher mentors him. Usher opens doors. But one of those doors led directly to Diddy, and that's where Rogan starts asking the uncomfortable questions. Why was Diddy so obsessed with getting unsupervised time with a minor? Why were those experiences described as can't disclose and a 15-year-old's dream? And why did everyone laugh it off in 2010, but today it makes your skin crawl? I'm tired of the fake personas. Somebody needs to sue Usher already. Exactly. We need a victim to come out, because he's gonna keep pretending while the whole industry knows the truth. It's like a baby with a pacifier. Sometimes you just gotta yank it out of their mouth. They'll cry, but they'll grow up. Old interviews are resurfacing. Diddy openly bragging about having custody of Bieber for 48 hours. Talking about a 15-year-old's dream that he can't explain publicly. Rogan stopped on that word, custody. Mentorship doesn't come with secrecy, so what was being hidden? Here's where the tone gets darker. It's not just what was said, it's how Bieber has behaved since. The emotional breakdowns in public, the way he talks about protecting younger artists like Billie Eilish, suddenly so fierce, so personal. That's not just burnout, that's the sound of someone trying to save someone else from a fate they already know. I just don't want anyone else to go through what I went through. Bieber himself has hinted at betrayal. People who said "I love you" to his face and turned their backs the second the cameras were off. And Rogan says that points back to the environment, because if a kid gets placed in rooms he didn't choose, the blame doesn't fall on one person. It falls on everyone who unlocked the door, and Ellen keeps coming back. If she was that close to Diddy, if she moved comfortably in that orbit, then people are asking, what did she know? And when did she know it? That single question flips the whole story. Now it gets deeper. Rogan didn't treat this like one bad accident. He called it a pattern, a machine where young talent is identified, pulled in early, exposed to corrupt environments, and then expected to perform like nothing happened. That's when other names surface. Busta Rhymes' references to the culture, young artists who vanish from the spotlight with emotional scars they can't hide. Even the Will Smith universe has lingering questions, Jaden Smith being around elite circles at an impressionable age. Not every story matches exactly, but Rogan's point is repetition. When multiple young stars enter the same spaces and leave broken, the pattern becomes undeniable. He gave me his blessing. I devoted myself to that relationship for years. I truly loved her. You kicked me to the curb. We basically broke up. And then I got into a different kind of entanglement. Back to Bieber. The biggest question isn't just what happened, it's who allowed it. Usher made the introduction. Did he see anything? Ellen was in that same galaxy sending him weird birthday messages, even calling him pet names like Cuddle McNuggle on air, laughing it off when people asked why. That stuff didn't land right then. Today it lands like a warning bell. Here's another layer Rogan brushed against. Timing. As the questions got louder, certain people changed their behavior. Ellen stepped back from the spotlight. Fewer appearances, quieter exits. No big farewell explanation. That doesn't prove a crime, but in this world, timing is everything. It makes people look twice. So ask yourself, if all of this was innocent, why do old video clips feel like horror movies now? Why do past jokes feel like coded confessions? And why are so many people connected to that world staying silent or giving answers that don't fit the questions? Now you've got a young pop star who carries wounds he can't fully name. You've got powerful figures linked through the same private events. You've got resurfaced footage and a pattern that keeps repeating with different victims. So the real question becomes, was Justin Bieber just another kid struggling with fame? Or did he see something, experience something that the public is only now starting to piece together, piece by horrifying piece? And if that's the case, how many other stories are sitting in Hollywood's vault? How many people stay quiet because the cost of speaking is their entire career? Because if what Rogan is pointing at has any weight, this isn't about one monster. It's about the system that builds the cage, locks the door, and hands out the keys. I need to ask you directly, do you think these are separate coincidences, or is there a single hidden thread connecting Ellen, Diddy, and Justin Bieber that we're only now seeing? And when more voices finally break their silence, what else do you think is going to explode into the open? Drop your honest opinion in the comments below, and while you're at it, smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss the next layer of this story.